you need to do is figure out how much money you've got planned or how much money you've got budgeted. And you need to develop a plan based on that budget. So if you've got $1,000, if you've got $5,000, if you've got $10,000, whatever, you need to figure out what is going to work best in your area. I don't know what's going to work over in Dallas versus what's going to work in Houston, New Orleans versus Houston. Every area is different. So you've really got to figure out how your customer is going to respond to you or is going to find you. In my area here, it's basically everything is by a website. So having a website here is very important. Whatever plan that you decide that you're going to use, you need to make sure you work that plan and be consistent with it and track your results. Okay? So if you're doing a postcard mailing, you need to make sure you track the results. Website. The way you track the results is you make sure that you ask every single customer, and this is the 6 most important words that you can ever say to a customer, and that's, how did you hear about me? I want everybody to say it real loud. How did you hear about me? It's very, very important that you get that ingrained and that you say that and ask that question to every single customer, because that tells you what your advertising and your marketing dollars are doing, whether it's a website, a newspaper ad, postcard, whatever. Memorize this. It's got to be automatic. I will even ask, especially if I've got a customer that we're having a great phone conversation, the dialogue is open. What kind of search term did you put in? What was the search term? Pressure washing Houston, roof cleaning Houston. Sometimes they'll say pressure washing and it's the zip code. Cleaning mold and how to clean mold and mildew off of vinyl siding. Those are all the things they're going to tell you. And that tells me what I need to make sure the keywords are on my website, and when I'm blogging and when I'm linking, that those are the keywords that I'm concentrating on. Keep track of the referrals. We have a sheet that, a little lead sheet that we keep track of everything. Name, address, their email address, their cell phone number. That's the most important phone number I want. I always ask for the cell phone number. We also have a spot on it that is marked for referral. So how did they find us? After the job, or even after the job, we always ask them, if I get an opportunity to, what made you choose me out of all the other people that you spoke to, out of all the other estimates? A lot of times we didn't get another estimate. You were the only one we chose, but a lot of times we get answers such as, you were the one that answered the phone, you were the guy that showed up on time, you were the guy that carried through and said and did everything that you said you were going to do. Interview your customer and try to find the information of why they're choosing you, and make sure you're improving on that and continuing to do that stuff. Always ask every customer, are you completely 100% satisfied with our work, especially Angie's List customers. Make sure that you ask those customers that, because they have the power of the pen and they can type something and they can hurt you. So make sure that you get either a verbal or even something, an email from them, that they're 100% satisfied, so that if something happens and they do leave a bad review, you've got something that you can go back on.
How can you get on that Angie's List?
You have to have someone refer you. You can actually sign up for free, I believe, but if you want to get the top tier advertising, you have to pay per month based on your areas and your zones and that type of thing. Correct. There's no charge to sign up, and what happens is if somebody puts pressure washing Houston in, it just kind of scrolls through all these 2,000 contractors that are, you may come up on page 5, you may come up on page 2, you're in a flow. So you don't have any guarantee of coming up number 1 every time somebody hits pressure washing Houston. That's what you get for free. But if you pay, then every time they enter pressure washing Houston or roof cleaning Houston or whatever search term that's going to bring me up, I'm always going to come up on the first page and I'm going to be highlighted. And that's what I pay for. it's been worth it to me. I get great customers through them. Business cards, especially starting out, make sure that what you do stands out. For years in Florida, we started out as Doug's. By the way, everybody, there's my wife, Kathy, and my daughter, Emma Grace, is here today. Doug's Pressure Cleaning used to be our name years and years ago when we first started out. That says what we do, but make sure somewhere on your business card, whatever the business name is, that your pressure washing, your roof cleaning, exterior cleaning, or whatever stands out. Hand those to anybody and everybody that you can. Anytime you meet somebody, leave them on the counters at the bank. Leave them on the counters at the gas station when you get gas, everywhere you go, the restaurants, any place you can. They're disposable items, so dispose of them in proper places. It's going to help you get businesses, okay? Call or text. And anybody that's taking pictures of this, if you would like to have this, I'll be glad to put this on a, what do they call them, drive, and mail it to you. If that's easier for you, but you can continue to take pictures too if you want. Make sure on everything that you put, of any of your advertising material, website, postcards, business cards, shirts, anything, call or text and your phone number. Now make sure you have a cell phone that this is going to go to so when they start texting, it works. Many customers nowadays are wanting to do business by texting. I can pull my phone out and show you tons and tons of text messages from customers that sitting in church on Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning or whatever, and they text, hey, I need a price, or they're at a restaurant. Wherever, cell phones have become a great thing for people that don't have patience. People don't mind sitting and waiting for 30, 45 minutes in a restaurant line now because what? They can search and take care of business. So call or text. Make sure your website is mobile optimized, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Truck, trailer, form, signatures, everything. Just get in the habit. I learned that 3 or 4 years ago from Ron, and it pays. Residential marketing for postcards. The way I do postcards is I target specific streets and specific homes. I don't do the EDDM. I'll send 100, 200 postcards out at a time to a specific neighborhoods that I want to target, and I will continue to hit those same ones over and over, especially ones that I have done business in and that they've seen my truck and trailer. And I'll tie up those neighborhoods. Promote a service or a price. I don't like putting prices on postcards unless it's going to a neighborhood and they're smaller homes, 1,500 square foot, 2,000, 2,200 square feet, $279 house wash. That's okay for me because we can go in that neighborhood and hit 3 or 4 at a time in a day and get in and get out, and that's a good day's work and a good day's income. When you're going to the higher end residential homes, I don't like doing prices on them or percentages off, discounts, anything like that. I just like showing what we do, the services that we offer, and then mailing them to them and generating a phone call. I can sell them once I get out there or once I get them on the phone, but too often times if you put a price, that sometimes just ends the phone call and they won't even call. They just automatically think maybe the price is too high without even knowing why the price is that price. So that's kind of a personal preference, but I don't like putting prices on postcards. Same thing with a call to action. Offer expires. If I'm doing those $279 ones or $450 roof cleanings for that neighborhood, yeah, I'm going to have an offer expires, but it's usually 30, 45 days out. I want to give them a little bit of time. Getting addresses for mailing your postcards, you can get those through your local property appraiser site. And if you'll just, whatever your county is, like here, if you were to just Google Harris County Property Appraiser, you'll get that site, and then through there you can get into the what's it called? It's not the tax, yeah, tax assessor, right. And that's where you can go through, like Harris County, we can pull up a whole street. Montgomery County, one county over, you can only do one home at a time. But whitepages.com is also a great place to get addresses, as well as Melissa Data. You can get them from there too, but I've just found the other two the easiest place. There's an example of a $279 postcard that we've done before, house wash and driveway cleaning. Again, these are one-story homes that are very easy to get in and out on. Usually vinyl siding or all hardy plank. We've got a couple of neighborhoods like that we send them to. Take advantage. So here's the call or text us at 281, the phone number. We're fully insured, licensed, and we give them a little bit about how much experience we got. Here's some more professional ones postcards that we do. Roof cleaning and pressure washing with the pictures. And again, these are ones that we just mail out on our own. We'll buy stamps down at the post office, 3 or 4 rolls of the postcard stamps. We label them ourselves, mail them out, and we always mail them out on a Tuesday or a Wednesday so that they get to the customer's home by a Friday or a Saturday. We never want to mail them when they arrive on a Tuesday in our area, because Tuesday is junk mail day, and they always just get thrown into that with the rest of junk mail. We want them to arrive on the weekend. So find out what junk mail day is in your area or where you're mailing, and stay off of that day. There's another postcard.
How do you get the free house wash?
How do you get the free house wash? Give me 3 or 4 customers on your street and I'll do your house wash for free. There's a lot of times there's certain homes that will, the way they're built and the slope, if it's an easily walkable roof, that we can actually clean the house while we're doing the roof, where our roof guy can hand down the soft wash gun to us. We can spray it out the back side, but it's generally partial of that cost is included into the roof cleaning price. But that's just, you know, there's several different ways they can get it. Get 3 or 4 other of your neighbors. Or if the house, if we were to get 6 or 7 roof cleanings on one street, it's the way our process and procedure is, we can whip around a house pretty quick and clean it. Again, these are targeted certain neighborhoods that we know the exterior of them, and we know how we're going to clean them and how fast and how long it takes us. Notepads, we carry around notepads in our trucks. And this is something we just recently really started, and we kind of leave them everywhere, like our business cards. We'll leave them in the banks. We're going to leave them on gas station pumps, just anywhere and everywhere. Give them to every customer so that they use them. Every time one's peeled off, a note's written down. You just never know where that piece of paper with your information is going to flow and go to. Okay, but give them to every customer. Sometimes they'll take them to work, 1 or 2 notepads a piece. We actually just bought from Jim Post-it notes with our information on them. Got a very good price through Jim, and I would highly recommend you talking to him about those. Put our logo on them and everything, so we're excited to get those in. Uprinting.com is where I do a lot of this type of postcard. It's very easy to go on there and design your own postcard, put your own text. You can upload your logo and then order the postcards that you want. Well, wrong way. But that's uprinting.com. We've also done a lot of disposable business cards through there, sidewalk cleaning business card, and then a business card that we don't do rock flyers or anything like that, but we just really hand them out, and they're just simply have house washing and roof cleaning on there with the phone number. Target a lot. Another way is to target lots of people. Find some nice doctor's offices. This is something we did, I did a few years ago in a couple doctor's offices, and it paid off real good in the Kingwood area. Photo album of your before and after pictures. When people come in to sit in doctors and dentist offices and they sit and they find a magazine, especially if it's your dentist or your doctor, they'll allow you to put a photo album in there, and you can put a little piece of paper in there with your work, describing your work, that type of thing. Yard signs, banners at large churches and concerts. I don't do a lot of yard signs at on homes. Simply, you know, occasionally I do, but I really like to put them out around churches, on Sundays, also sometimes concerts where there's going to be a lot of people, ball games, that type of thing, where you're going to have a lot of traffic going by those yard signs, and it's put a couple of them up there, especially where they're going to stop in traffic. Flyers with discounts to large companies in your area. We've done that with, what's that place that, Administaff, but it's not Administaff anymore. Large companies like that, Insperity, I think it is now. Yeah, yeah. We've, if you know an employee that works there, they'll put up some flyers on the bulletin boards inside their office or inside the break rooms and things of that, and you'll get some calls off of that too. Angie's List. If you're going to do anything with Angie's List, you can negotiate with them big time. I only pay, anybody in here from Houston? Never mind. I pay a good amount now. I pay about, I pay $150 a month, and I target 10 specific cities for both pressure washing and roof cleaning. And we've always done very well on it. So continue to negotiate with them, make them call you back 3 or 4 times. Just keep telling them, nah, I just can't. But find out how many subscribers that they have in your area before you do that. Do some real good investigating on that. Don't sign up for anything that you have to give a large percentage of your earnings away, like their storefront deal, and they have one other one, I can't remember, the big deal. Groupon, I don't do those. I don't want to give that's not really the type of customer I go after anyway. So, door to door is a great way, especially when you're just starting out. But always keep in mind when you get ready to go knocking on doors, don't be, Chris will disagree with me, but never be closing. You're just going up there to introduce yourself, introduce your company, hand them a notepad, something of that nature. More often than not, when you're not pushy, they're going to ask you what kind of price you have, or what's the price to clean the driveway, or what kind of price would you give me to clean the roof, or whatever. But if you go up there pushy and edgy, then it's going to turn them off, and then sometimes they even start calling if you've got rules, and if they've got rules in the neighborhood. But if you're just very nice and pleasant and just knock on the door, hi, my name's Doug, I'm with Clean and Green Solutions, just want to drop you off a notepad, let you know that we clean driveways, we clean exteriors of homes. If we can ever help you, we'd love to do that. Thank you so much, have a great day, and turn to walk off. And at that point, as soon as you turn to walk off, they're either gonna, well, hold on, let me ask you a question. And when they do that, turn around and smile, yes ma'am, how can I help you? Okay, if they don't, just keep walking and go to the next house. Be prepared that you're going to probably get 20 no's before you even get somebody to say yes. That's just the odds. So don't get dejected. Just remember, just go into it with the mindset that all you're trying to do is get your name out there. You're not trying to make a sale that day. But if you do, it's gravy, because you have to keep the smile on your face, and you have to keep the attitude, and you've got to remember what your main goal is, and that's just to get the word out. Okay, if you go out with a goal of trying to get 10 jobs that day and you don't get it, you're going to come home dejected, and then you're going to give up. So just go out with the mindset that you're trying to get your name out into that neighborhood. Be prepared for a demo. Have your equipment with you down the street. 20 no's to get a yes. That's what I just talked about. Children are great to take on door-to-door sales. Make sure that they're well behaved. Leave them home if they are having a bad morning. But
it's serious. I have my little son who's just turned 4. He loves our business cards, and he will take a stack of them, and we will go to the store, and he will hand one to every person we go by. And people are great about accepting them, and they think it's cute. And we got him we're getting him a little shirt with the logo. I mean, people will accept it from a kid before they'll accept it.
right. Yeah, I've taken Emma Grace on many estimates. I've taken Emma Grace on many estimates, and she's closed many a sale for me, believe me. So, but just make sure that they're well behaved that day, and that if they're having a bad day, leave them at home or choose another one. Websites. If you're going to get a website, make sure that you get a WordPress website. This is the type of site that you can blog directly from the site. Roof cleaning Kingwood, Texas, roof cleaning New Orleans, whatever, all the little cities that are around your area. You can blog those specific little cities, and you'll get those to come up on the first page pretty quick, depending on where you live. It allows you to blog and post pictures, and once again, it's great for targeting specific cities and services. One of the great things that you can do if you can't afford a professional looking website, you can get a blog spot. Just go on the blog spot, and those are free, and you can start blogging right from there. And it's something that you can send customers to see your work, to see your services and your writing about how what you write about your services and that type of thing. This is what I'm talking about a while ago. This is a page from my website that I blogged and did everything. Conroe, Texas roof cleaning. I inserted the video. I wrote all the text. Everything up there is what I did, and it looks like if you enter Conroe, Texas roof cleaning, that's probably going to come up on the first page, and it'll look just like that. It looks like its own little website almost. Again, call or text. I can't stress that enough on everything that you have. Here you see it on my website at the top. Here's another website that I used to have. I don't have this one anymore, but everything's got call or text on it. Make sure that your website is mobile optimized. This is how it comes up for my site. When a customer pulls up my site on their iPhone or iPad or whatever, it'll say call us. They can click to call us, they can click to text us, or they can click on that to email me. And you can either get I think there's plugins for WordPress that you can get. This is through mobile, due to mobile that you can get. It's about $7 or $8 a month to have that feature. And they send you statistics of how many people pulled it up, clicked on it, called you, whatever. Forum blogs. Is everybody familiar with forum blogs? Is everybody familiar with forums? Okay, Pressure Washing Institute, UAMCC, we have our own forum. Is everybody familiar with those two at least? Okay. When you go on, forum blogs, first off, are highly searchable because there's so much new content on there on a daily basis. You can link to your website. You can put before and after pictures, and make sure that you choose clean sites, and I'll explain that in a minute. But here's an example of this is the UAMCC site. Roof cleaning, Humble, Texas, the Woodlands pressure washing. These are, if you just go over to the blog section, up in the menu section on the forum boards, hit blog, you're able to create your own blog. You'll have your own section, your own area where you can create all the blogs that you want. Here's another one from PWI. This is Power Wash Network. This is a highly searchable, it's a very slow, traffic-wise, not a lot of people on it, but it's very highly searchable by Google, Bing, Yahoo, and all those. It's another great one to blog on. This one is, I can't remember what that one is. And this is my own forum, Doug Rucker's pressurecleaningschool.com. I have my own forum. If you want to go to it, sign up and register. It's strictly just new people that are in the business that have a place to go and talk. Rodney's on it, although he's not new. And there's some other guys that are around here that are on it as well. Other forums are Lawn Site, Cleaning Talk. Anybody familiar with RCIA? The new, okay. The old RCIA is what I would call a dirty site, because when you blog on it, everything that what comes up with your information is also Apple roof cleaning in Tampa, Florida. So I really don't want Apple roof cleaning on any of my blogs. I don't have anything to do with that business. So I go to the new RCIA because that one is a little bit cleaner. So Fat Cat Cleaners, National Soft Wash Alliance, and Soft Wash Community are some other great forums that you can blog on as well. Call or text, once again, I just re-emphasize this, make sure every form of advertising, marketing you do, even these blogs, everything is call or text with your phone number.
Have you, anybody here has ever used stencils to advertise?
Ron has in commercial, but residential I wouldn't recommend it. Unless you're doing a demo, you can, but generally in residential, if you're going to do that, they're going to want you to go ahead and clean it, the area that you did. But I personally have never done a stencil, but I know some guys that have done it for commercial. Here's an example of some of the text messages, just to show you that the text messaging does work. And these are just all customers. You can see their phone numbers up there. Some of these are people I've never heard from because they're not my contacts, and then some of these are repeat customers. So that's a property manager that I do, that Ron got me when he came and visited. So it works. As far as branding, I've just got some simple basic things for you. Make your logo clear and concise. Make it easy to read. Make it easy to recognize, and put it on everything. Now remember that what you do is more important than who you are at first. The customer has to know that what you do is going to solve their problem. So it doesn't matter who you are at first. Make sure that pressure washing or that roof cleaning or whatever that service is that you're advertising is prominent, and they can see it easily and read it. Here's an example of some old signage on my trailer and the new signage. You see how much, you can't really read that as well, it's too jumbo, and now it's much more larger and concise and says exactly what we do, and it's a lot easier to read and see. Here's an example of some of the things we do on the street when we're working. We'll put some postcards in the windows, and then we've got this take a card where people can take a business card. It's a magnet that stays on the truck. Certified. I use certified when customers bring up the fact that they'll ask me, what kind of experience do you have? How long have you been doing this? That's an excellent opportunity for you to explain to people, if you're a certified roof cleaner through UMCC like I am, that yes ma'am, I am certified. I have a roof clean. I'm certified through the UAMCC. Talk about the UAMCC. Talk about these events that you go to. They're wanting to know what kind of experience you have. They want to make sure that you're not going to do what? Damage their home. okay? They're looking for something specific and some type of security that you're the person for the job. So if you ever hear people or other contractors talking about, I never had anybody in my entire career ask me if I'm certified. Well, of course not, but you've probably had somebody ask you if you're, what kind of experience do you have, or how many roofs have you cleaned, or whatever. That's an excellent opportunity to bring up the fact that you're a certified roof cleaner, or that you're certified in wash water control, or whatever it is, or that you're a member of Pressure Washing Institute, or you're a member of the UAMCC. I even bring my iPad out sometimes and show that to them, to show them that this, I'm just not a guy that sprays water. There's education that goes into this. There's a lot of care of your home that goes into this, and we have to be very careful. Okay, so it's a great opportunity then to bring in. It's up to you to inform the customer and do it at the right time. Once again, I don't do it to every single customer, but it's generally when they're asking me either on the phone or if I'm at the house, what kind of experience do you have, or how long have you been doing this, that type of thing. Network with professional contractors from across the country. That's another thing that you need to let them know. As part of the benefits of PWI and UAMCC is that you are able to network with a vast majority of contractors around the nation for any questions or anything that you run across. Been doing this for 25 years, and I tell customers, hey, I don't know everything, but what I do need to know, I've got people I can call and find out if you need an answer or whatever. Always remember, this is kind of tying it up, you are basically presenting you. When you go out on an estimate and when you're marketing your business, you're presenting yourself, okay? So how you present yourself is the most important consideration in any marketing, advertising, branding, or anything that you do. So get that done first. That's the most important thing before postcards, business cards, websites, anything else. What you wear, when you arrive, how you arrive, and what you say and how you say it is going to play a large role in your success. When you arrive, if you pull up into the driveway and you walk across the grass to get to the front door, instead of walking straight down the road to the sidewalk and then up to the front door, envision the customer is watching you from that window and you cut across that grass. That doesn't make a very good first impression. When you knock on the door, step back away from the stoop and don't crowd the door. Let them feel secure that it's okay to open the door, hands behind your back or to your side. Hi, this is Doug. My name's Doug from Clean and Green Solutions. I'm here for the estimate for your home. Now at that point, sometimes you'll see the customer has opened the door, they're putting on their shoes. That's the indicator to me that they're going to come out and show me. We're going to walk around the house. But if they just kind of open the door and just kind of acknowledge that I'm there, I can tell at this point the customer does not want to come out. So I put them at ease and I say, ma'am, if it's okay with you, I'm just going to walk around the property and kind of look at everything, and then I'll come back and we can discuss it. Or I can get back to the office later this afternoon and I can email you the estimate. Which would you prefer? And then I'll let them make the choice. So how you present yourself as you pull up to that house is going to play a large role in your success, okay? And then also, it's the same thing on the phone. When you're answering the phone, listen. The person that listens the most is going to win. So that means what? The person that talks the most is going to lose. Let the customer talk and listen to them, listen to what they're wanting done. Don't try to take control of the conversation. Control the conversation by listening, okay? Here's a couple of things I want you to know that will help you on some of your, if you ever get into emails, readnotified.com. That allows you to track the email. You can, you'll know exactly when somebody opens the email. You'll be able to know that the customer got it. Too often times we email a bid out and we don't know if it got opened, but that will tell you, and it'll also tell you again later, 2 weeks later, if they opened it up. Okay, and it's very useful for email if you're going to be emailing estimates, which is what I do 90% of the time. And that's just a little bit of information on that. You can't really read it. And that's basically the basics of it. Any questions?
How do they notify you whether the email was opened up?
You get an email back.
You get an email from them.
Mm-hmm.
Does the person that you sent the email to, do they know that you're being notified?
No.
Yeah.
What's the difference in price between doing your own mailers versus using something like Streetmail?
Well, street bidder, you have to pay $40 a month. And then their postcards about 49 cents, I think 39 cents a piece, something like that. The thing with street bidder is labor-wise, you know, I used it for about 2 or 3 months, 4 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. I got one sale off out of probably about 800 cards that I sent out. Ran into some problems with, you know, taking pictures of homes and then getting calls or emails and that type of thing. That didn't get any trouble, just we explained what we're doing, it was okay. But it does take a little time to take those pictures, walk up and down the street. Excuse me. Versus, yes, please. Versus just going up on Property Appraiser and pulling up all the addresses, printing off labels, that type of thing. Okay.
You've done a lot better doing it that way versus any other way.
My thing with postcards, the customer's going to do one of two things. One of three things. Look at it, throw it in the trash. Look at it, put it on a refrigerator. Over a magnet. I need to call this guy. And you'll get a call 2 or 3 months later. That's why you get ingrained in your mind, how did you hear about me? And then they'll say, oh, I got a postcard 3 or 4 months ago and I put it on my refrigerator. Or they're going to call you right then and there. So the thing with Street Bidder I think is a great idea. I just was not happy with some of the templates that was the choices, and I like my postcards a lot better. So.
During winter, the industry kind of slows down a lot, especially residential. Do you have any advice that can help? You know,
where are you from?
Houston, Northwest Cypress area.
I think the first 6 or 7 years we were in Houston, we struggled in the wintertime. As a matter of fact, I delivered pizza sometimes in the winter. So there's an idea right there, one. But just stay consistent with it. Now we are able to stay pretty busy through as long as we can go out and clean. We've got jobs lined up throughout the winter. Of course, when it's bad weather, we don't go out, or if it's real cold or whatever. So you just got to stick with it, but you're going to have to get a part-time job, or you've got to do something to make some income. And this is a great place to get some residual type income doing sidewalk cleaning for some property managers, that type of thing, because you can continue to clean at least monthly around here. So.
I mean, it's not still making it, it's not.
How long have you been
Year and a half.
Yeah. Just be patient, be persistent, and it'll.
And that's what I don't have.
Right.
You get married.
Right. You what? Get married?
Wrong answer.
Are doing residential estimates or find any value in just looking out their information online after they call you and just shooting them based off just the look of the house online?
Well, that's how I do 90% of my estimates. Yeah, I rarely go to the house anymore. But when you're first starting out, you need to go to the house, and you need to look the house over to get familiar with the house, and you need to learn how to relate to a customer and talk to a customer. If you can't talk to a customer in person, it's going to be harder to talk to them on the phone, I think. But yeah, 90% of my estimates are all done by Google Earth and Bing Maps. Now, when I pull up a 5,000 square foot house, 7,000 square foot house, beautiful pool on the water, I'm visiting that customer at the house. Okay, but the 3,000 square foot homes, 2,500 square foot homes, those cookie cutter homes in neighborhoods, I've got set pricing for all those. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Nothing?
You said if I wanted that presentation, I just need to email you,
Text me
text you.
at 832-445-5165. Text it to me and you can, I'll email you a thumb drive. The other thing you can do is go to pressurecleaningschool.com. And on the far right hand corner it'll say join. And I have a web-based school that has right now about 22 videos up, and it's all the PowerPoint presentations from my school that I do monthly in Houston. Right now it's $149 to join that. It's going to eventually go up and probably end, the price will probably end at about $850 to $1,000, because I will have all kinds of actual hands-on training. And in other words, I'll get up on a roof using a GoPro camera and I'm going to show people exactly how to spray a roof to limit your amount of runoff. I'll show you how to clean a stucco building. I'll show you how to clean an EIFS building, limestone, pool decks, driveways, whatever. Anybody that's a member can shoot me an email and say, hey, I'd like to know how to clean this. If I can get to it within a week or so, I'll go out and shoot a video of how to clean it. So anybody that signs up right now for the $149, you don't ever pay another dime and you'll have access to every video that's ever posted. If you want to email me pictures of a job you're bidding on, you need help, I have guys that do that all the time. I've never met them, but I just enjoy helping people, and I enjoy helping people be successful. And I specifically enjoy helping people not damage people's properties. Okay, so anytime you need some help, just let me know. We're done.